One of the biggest issues that a lot of gay guys come in and talk to me about in therapy is truly just feeling lonely and also finding it really difficult to connect with other people. And I understand that. When I first moved to LA 5 years ago, actually, I came here and had a couple friends and quickly started meeting a bunch of other people, and everybody wanted to make plans for this and get together for this other time. And I thought, man, I'm like killing it in LA. It's so easy to make friends. But what I quickly realized was that I was mistaking everybody's general pleasantries with people who were actually willing and able to follow up and wanted to create some friendships. And that was really hard, and it felt really lonely, and it felt incredibly isolating. But it was gonna take me time and effort to be able to do that. But these are some of the things that we want to think about. What makes it really important and necessary for us to connect? Also, what makes it incredibly difficult, especially as gay guys, to know how to do that and how we can continue to do that. And then also, well, what specifically can we do? What can we do to find people and also keep those relationships in our lives? So it's no surprise that it can be hard to feel like we belong earlier in life before we come out, because we haven't totally stepped into all of who we are authentically, and so there's something that's just kind of a little bit missing there. So when we do put a lot of work and effort then into eventually coming out, we can feel really excited and hopeful and like, yes, finally, I'm gonna meet my people and I'm gonna connect and there's gonna be this big warm welcome for me. And then we quickly realize it's not exactly that. We can see that not only is it not exactly that warm, but people, like other gay guys even, might be kind of standoffish, a little aloof, and even sometimes kind of be mean. So it's got me thinking a little bit about, well, what's worked for me? How did I find my people? And how was I able to make those connections? And so I just decided, I'm gonna ask my friends. And so that's what I did. And the first thing I wanted to know from them was what they thought about why us as gay guys sometimes might not always be the nicest.
Yeah, this is like the hardest question. I'm trying to think what it is. Like, and I don't want to answer like the petty superficial shit of like the jabs and stuff, because that's part of like what makes it so like great.
We have embraced what society has given us and turned it around into something that we can own and throw it back.
It's like us toughening each other up, because if I can say the most horrible shit to my best friend, then it makes him like invincible to anyone else that we don't know.
I think being catty and vicious is part of our nature. I think it's one of those gay genes that like is unexplainable.
I think there's a lot of insecurities with gay men from when they're children, and the greatest, easiest way to get rid of those insecurities is to be mean to someone else.
I think it's insecurities from a lifelong of hurt.
We grew up being so judged and so hard on ourselves that we sometimes deflect that and project it on other people.
When we grow up in a homophobic world that tells us that there's something wrong with who we are at the core, we internalize those messages. And even after we come out, we can still hold on to some of those insecurities. And it's one thing for us to try and pass it off like we're cool to straight people. It's a whole other thing trying to do that with gay guys, because they know the drill. They're gonna cut through the shit. They can see behind our veil. So it can be a little bit more intimidating. So when we're with other gay guys, we might even find ourselves be a little bit more cautious and defensive. Our walls go up, we become defensive and protective, and we might even start to push other people away. And that's kind of why we can sometimes just be really mean to each other. Now, I'm not trying to justify this. I'm not trying to say be friends with assholes, because like nobody's got time for that. But what I am saying is that when we have more of an awareness, at least, then we can have more compassion and understanding of what's actually going on. So we don't look around and just think everybody's a total dick. We can see people for what they are. They're just incredibly wounded and defensive. And then we don't have to own any part of that. We can feel safer to put ourselves out there and still make the effort, be the change we want to see, be kind to others, and also see who's going to be the right fit for us. But we'll feel more motivated to keep at it instead of just feeling jaded. And when we do that and we keep at it, then we eventually do meet the right people for us. And when we do that, then we can invest in those relationships.
You can't really force something that's not really there.
When you're first trying to like accept who you are, you're kind of just willing to be whoever someone else wants you to be so you can fit in.
But then you meet those friends where you're like, oh my God, you get me, and like you're a good person.
With you guys, you get it. Like, and I don't ever have to feel like I need to be anything than me.
It's just kind of one of those, it's like, it's a feeling, it's an instant connection with somebody because you know they've gone through the same thing that you've gone through.
Invest in people who who are positive, who uplift you, who don't put you down.
It's effort. It's making the time for each other. And it's showing up.
You know, you might be tired, or it might be a Friday night and you've been working a really long week, but understanding that it means a lot to somebody else in your friend group to be there to support them.
When you care about them more than anything, and they frustrate the fuck out of you sometimes, but you know, at the end of the day, you're there for each other and you're not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere.
There's always somebody who will be there if you were like, I really need you right now. I don't know what, I just need something. I just need someone. And this group of friends provides that always, 100% of the time.
I just feel love and acceptance. And I know it sounds so cheesy, but it's like, that's all anybody really wants at the end of the day. They just want to go to bed accepted and loved for who they are.
They're really important to me, and I'm so grateful for them. But I also know that it wasn't luck that I found them. I put the time and energy and effort into doing that, and then also to investing into those relationships when I did get them. And that means being loving and supportive and accepting and kind and patient. And I do that not because it's what I can do to hold on to them or because it's the right thing to do, but because it's the loving thing to do. And then that's how the connections can just be so meaningful. And those meaningful relationships can be incredibly rewarding. And they can also be really scary as fuck.
Sometimes I struggle to be within a group of friends.
Everybody brings so much to this group, which again, I'm so thankful for, but it's challenging of like, how do you earn your role in this group?
Everyone's beautiful and powerful, and in a way they're motivating, but it's challenging because you want to have a voice.
What could be the scariest thing about our friendship and like being in this group is just not having that person there anymore.
I don't want them to go away, and I don't want them to like forget about me.
If and when this ends, not having this in the next stage.
Knowing that things are going to change, and in 5 years, this dynamic will probably look very, very different, I think really scares me.
The scariest thing that I always think about is like, what if I didn't have them?
The emotion that people fear the most is joy, because you reach that point of joy and then someday it might be taken away from you, and that would be the hardest thing I think I would ever have to do.
At the end of the day, all relationships can be pretty challenging, but it's only when we keep showing up and we keep sorting through and challenging some of our own shit that we actually have an opportunity to heal and grow within these relationships. And when we keep doing that, especially with some of our closest gay friends, then we feel closer, we feel safer, we have a whole lot more fun. And before you realize it too, we can take a step back and realize that we've created something special in our lives.
What's the first word that comes to mind when you think of gay friends?
Family.
I think of family.
Family.
Chosen family.
They are an extended family for me, because when you have family issues of your own, there are people that you can lean on, you tell them everything. They also drive me nuts, and I know that I get on their nerves, and then we'll like bicker and fight, and then we talk it all out, and then we're fine. And the thing is, like, when we fight, at least I have that security of knowing that we're going to be fine after that fight, but like we just need to get the shit out, and that's family.
As gay people, we need second families. There's something that's really important about that. But it can be kind of hard to admit that, because we like to put on a show, we don't need anybody, and we can do everything on our own. You know, we're social creatures by nature, and we thrive on meaningful connection. You know, we're stronger in numbers. It's kind of our tribal mentality. And it's kind of like when you think about like a string of Christmas lights, like each individual light can shine bright and colorfully on its own. When you step back and you look at the whole string, the collection of them, that's where the magic is.
I don't know. I think that it's nice however you look, whatever your style is, whatever else, like, as long as you...
This isn't a real question.
You're a fucking asshole. I was like, how do I get around that? Setting me up for, like, fuck you.
Thank you.